Oh, baby, this is going to get crazy. Today we are talking about Steven Stamkos, the Stammer himself. Stammer time, everybody, because when it comes to Stamkos, he is now 34 years old. His contract is expiring at the end of the season, and at the time of recording this audio, he does not have an extension in place. But the real question is, will he ever get there with the Tampa Bay Lightning? Now, Stamkos, as we recognize, came into this season with 84 points in 81 games played in 22-23. There was a little bit of a discussion going around saying, hey, Stamkos is entering 23-24 with no contract extension. What's that about? He's the captain of this team. He is a leader. He has been the captain of this team for a decade now. What gives? And this conversation was pushed forward even more when we had training camp all the way back in September and October, where before the 23-24 season began, Stamkos expressed to the media and said, hey, I'm kind of pissed off. Like, I don't have a contract. I'm really disappointed that we haven't gotten anything done. And that was seen as a bomb. Wait a minute, Stamkos is upset? He's frustrated with the way things are going. He's frustrated that he doesn't have a contract. The Tampa Bay Lightning then spoke out and said, hey, we have to figure out our cap situation first. This dude's 34 years old. We're not going to throw money away immediately at him for the next 4, 5, 6, 7 years or so. We have to work things out. And it was a pretty public thing that the Lightning were going to wait until the offseason to start negotiating with Stamkos and to try to get a contract done. Now, after the season ended, Stamkos had 81 points in 79 games played, still a point-per-game guy, still a 40-goal guy, still a very good guy. He had scored 5 goals in 5 games against the Florida Panthers squad that had just won the Stanley Cup. You see the graphics of Alexander Barkov shutting down Kucherov, he shut down Pasternak, he shut down Panarin. Well, he didn't really shut down Stamkos because that guy was still going out there clapping bombs and doing whatever it is to your moms. But with Steven Stamkos set to being a potential free agent, we had ourselves a few interesting conversations brought up by different NHL analysts. In particular, Chris Johnston. This is what he said on the CJ Show 2 days ago. Obviously, he's talking about the Detroit Red Wings. This is posted by the Red Wings Prospects Twitter account. Obviously clearing out cap. What's not obvious, though, is why. This is in response to the Jake Walman trade, that in which we had talked about more yesterday, but Jake Walman, his contract was sent over to San Jose for nothing. The Wings are clearing up cap space. Why is that? Well, Chris Johnson said that Detroit could use a buyout or two. Maybe they go out there and explore removing somebody else's contract. There's also space possible for both UFAs and the trade market. He speculates on a Steven Stamkos fit, and then he also speculates on John Gibson, with the Wings being aggressive as a big footnote there. Now, this tweet isn't really the best formatted, I guess you could say, if you want to go out there and read it, but it is an interesting note, I would say, that when it comes to these points, Chris Johnston is talking about Steven Stamkos as a potential Red Wings target, and it's not even the only time he does this. It's not just here on the Chris Johnston Show from June 26th. There also were some comments made by TSN. Pierre LeBrun said this about Stamkos: Tampa is going to have to change their offer, and that still can happen. In the meantime, there are a number of teams lining up. Chris Johnston said, I would keep an eye out on Detroit, who have freed up money. More expanded comment from Chris Johnston. One I would keep an eye on is the Red Wings, who have freed up money with the Jake Walman trade. The belief is they are one of the ones lining up to take a run at number 91 if he hits the open market. Okay, great. So we have talked at length about the Steven Stamkos situation. We have discussed how Steve Yzerman and the Red Wings are opening up some cap space. Could there be some sort of a reunion there? Yzerman going after his former captain in Tampa? Well, here's an update that I thought y'all needed to take a look at. This was tweeted out by Gabby Shirley. The Bolts GM, Julien Brisebois, spoke to the media over Zoom this morning, and the first question he was asked focused on the future of Steven Stamkos. this morning, 6 a.m., 28th of June, as we stand here right now, we haven't been able to reach an agreement yet. I don't know if we'll be able to reach an agreement, but we met with Steven's agent again yesterday, and both sides are still interested in getting a deal done. But we have not been able to agree to terms that are satisfactory for both sides. I think, at this time, it's probably best if I leave my comments to that for the time being. Now, okay, Julien Brisebois, maybe the entire comment here should have been left to your own discretion, because this is pretty telling. We've been talking, we want this to happen, but we cannot reach an agreement. It's not done yet. And furthermore, to this point, you had Pierre LeBrun go out there and say this: Stamkos' agent Don Meehan tells Pierre LeBrun that Stamkos will be a free agent on July 1st. So it would appear that Stamkos is going to the market Monday unless something changes in Tampa's position. There will be an article that Pierre LeBrun writes about this entire point. So, with this in mind, we are now thinking about the Detroit Red Wings, because Chris Johnson said it multiple times on the CJ show and on TSN that if Stamkos becomes a free agent, keep your eyes out on Detroit. And now, Stamkos' agent is saying, yeah, he is going to be a free agent. He's not getting that deal done. July 1st, he's going to the market. Let's see what happens. So, Steve Yzerman, man, if this is the ultimate play here, if this was the move from the very beginning, sure, I still question the Jake Wallman trade and why the Red Wings could not have just waived Wallman and have him get claimed by San Jose for free. Why they couldn't have just traded him away for something rather than attach a second-round pick to get him away. Either way, though, if Steve Yzerman's 4D chess 3D maneuver results in Steven Stamkos heading over to Motown, then color me shocked, Stevie Y is going to do it again. Ultimately, if you don't sign Patrick Kane, if you needed to get that extra piece for the forward core, boost up DeBrincat, make him a second-line left wing, play Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin with an absolute bomb of a sniper, Steven Stamkos is a pretty good option. And of course, there is familiarity there between Yzerman and between Stamkos. The guys have had connections in Tampa for years. So if he does become a free agent, which at this point it is looking like it will happen, keep your eyes out for Detroit, man. Now, I will say, to end off this video, all of this can change with just one phone call. All it takes is for Tampa Bay to call up Steven Stamkos one more time and say, okay, fine, you want X million dollars, you want X years, we'll give you that. Fine, just sign, stay with us, you'll still be our captain, etc., etc. You can get what you want, Stammer. All it takes is Julien Brisebois to do that, and we don't have this conversation anymore. There's no more Stamkos to the market, there's no more Stamkos to Detroit. But for now, because this is the newest update we had, this Julien Brisebois quote was from earlier this morning. Pierre LeBrun said this just a few hours later, that he will be a free agent on July 1st via Stamkos' agent. This is all we gotta go for. So if you're a Red Wings fan, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the idea of Steven Stamkos legitimately becoming a free agent and potentially being a Red Wings target and signee. Do you like this idea? Do you not? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99, and bye.